This time on episode 215 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we'll be discussing the latest episode of Inhumans Havoc in the Hidden Land, weekly Marvel news, and your feedback.
I'm Jeannie.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Nikki from Tyrion's Landing,
a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the one you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in
3,
2,
1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I hit the button, and I'm Director SP.
I'm Agent Haley.
I'm Agent Lauren.
And I'm Consultant Michelle.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. The show is recorded on Sunday, November 5th, 2017, live from the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. studios and broadcast worldwide via www.geeks.live. Ladies, happy Guy Fawkes Day!
Well, remember, if you're lighting a bonfire tonight, watch out for hedgehogs if you live in the UK. No, really, it's a serious problem there, you guys. Like they wander into the bonfires, and then it's sad for them.
Really? They wander in after it's lit?
Well, no, they wander in before it's lit.
Like to the woodpile.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, nice, a woodpile, a new home for me. And then somebody lights the bonfire without checking, and then no more hedgehogs.
Well, that's why you should light off fireworks in the general vicinity to scare them off before you light the bonfire.
That's why you check the bonfire first. Always check your bonfire for wild hedgehogs. This has been a PSA.
The more you know.
And with that, we're going to continue on with the rest of the show. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel's Inhumans on ABC for one more show. Marvel's Defenders on Netflix, Legion on FX, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Marvel Comic Universe in general.
Because of Crappy Kings.
If you'd like to talk to us about Crappy Kings, you can find us at our website, legendsofshield.com.
If you want to regale our audio ears with your accounting of really crappy kings, you can catch us at our voicemail line, 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871.
You can find us on Facebook. Our page is Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Podcast.
You can find us all on Twitter at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We have a YouTube channel, right, Michelle?
Yes, it's at youtube.com/GonnaGeek.
And remember, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a proud member of the GonnaGeek.com network.
All right, this is the penultimate episode of The Inhumans, which I'm really excited about because this will be the second to last time that we have to talk about the Inhumans, hopefully. So the episode was entitled Havoc in the Hidden Land. Michelle, what does that mean?
Chaos in Adelan, because everybody gets to go back, and then Black Bolt's got this plan, and he's sabotaging the infrastructure, and there's chaos, and there's fighting, and yeah, that's basically it.
It was also Fantastic Four number 204 back in November of 1962, it looks like.
Really? This exact episode? Issue?
Well, the title.
Oh,
the title. This would have been cooler if it had the Fantastic Four in it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
The Fox's Fantastic Four?
That's the question. It's like, okay, which Fantastic Four are we talking about?
Okay, look, I think we should all agree that the best Fantastic Four movie is The Invisibles. Yeah, The Incredibles. Sorry, The Incredibles.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It is.
Incredibles 2, guys. It's happening.
I know. I'm excited.
Next year.
I'm so excited.
Time to get out the super suits.
Super suits.
No capes.
No capes.
So, Haley, who directed Havoc in the Hidden Land?
This episode was directed by Chris Fisher. He has 18 directing credits going back to 2002. 2 of those we have discussed previously on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. We talked about him in episode 207, Inhumans, episode 3, Divide and Conquer. His other credits include an episode of Chuck, 8 episodes of Cold Case, a couple episodes of Eureka, a couple of Hawaii Five-0, 10 episodes of Warehouse 13, 1 of The Bridge, 1 of Supergirl, 17 of Person of Interest, 5 of The Magicians, and 2 episodes of Inhumans, including this episode.
And Lauren, who's the writer?
The writer was Quinton Peeples. This is actually his 3rd appearance being discussed on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's also done 2 episodes of Iron Fist, Rolling Thunder Cannon Punch, and Black Tiger Steals Heart. He has 16 writing credits since 1993, including the movie Joyride, 3 episodes of Flash Forward, and 1 teleplay of Flash Forward, 1 episode of The Last Ship, which I know SP is a big fan of, 4 episodes of Unforgettable, 3 episodes of 11/22/63, which I still need to see. It's on Hulu, and I was actually in Dallas one day while they were filming. I kind of stayed late to avoid the horrible traffic because they had the freeway shut down, like in downtown. And of course, those 2 episodes of Iron Fist and this episode of Inhumans.
A little bit of clarification there. The Last Ship was really good. The first couple of seasons. This last season, I'm not so sure about. Well, of course, there was all sorts of production issues, which we can go into at a later point. But The Last Ship, I don't know. I think it's time for it to sail into the sunset, so to speak. I know they got 1 more season, so maybe that'll be it. Or maybe they'll rekindle that lovely touch that they had the first season or 2. We'll see. All right, diving in, as our friends over in the Digital Soup podcast say, diving in to the episode here. Triton's back.
Which we knew.
Yeah, we told you he was just hanging out on the beach with a mojito.
Yep.
Mai Tai. Some sort of drink.
Ordered to do so by his king.
When?
Well, apparently there was this meeting and they had secret arrangements because Triton, what gets me is that apparently he's been like waiting at this a predetermined area. Nobody else is there. And he comes up like, it's just kind of weird.
Well, I assume, okay, so Black Bolt like leaned in and touched Lockjaw's head with his, and that somehow summoned Triton, it seemed. For reasons.
How does Black Bolt do this? And I thought, see, the way the show presents Lockjaw is that it's Crystal's dog. She actually says, "This is my dog," and then Black Bolt has this amazing super relationship with Lockjaw that seems to be closer than Crystal and Lockjaw. So, what's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with him going up to Lockjaw, Black Bolt going up to Lockjaw and putting his hand on Lockjaw's forehead? What's happening at that point in time?
I don't know, because Black Bolt, as far as he's been presented in the show, and as far as I can remember from the comics, is not psychic.
Yep.
So, And I'm just... This is one of those really frustrating moments that makes me feel like this show is a first draft. They're like, we need a thing to happen. Let's write this here and we'll fix it in the next draft. And then there was never a next draft. Having done a whole lot of first drafts that I've been just too lazy to edit because it's the thought of going back and reading my own work is depressing. I recognize a first draft when I see it.
Also, like, Triton's character has really been disserviced because he's kind of introduced in like the very first episode, but you never really get to know him then. He's introduced and then immediately killed. Allegedly. And then they bring him back here and all he's done is fight. Which, that's fine. The actor is a good fighter, but
Yeah,
like
the actor was a stuntman in Hong Kong. So remember back in Iron Fist when I was complaining about how a lot of Western movies, they do the quick cuts because it's easy to splice together and you don't have to put together, the long things if something messes up. And in Hong Kong, they like to do like the long lingering shots to show off that people are really good at what they're doing. Like you look at a Jackie Chan movie, you look at a Sammo Hung movie, you look at a Donnie Yen movie. So this guy comes from that line of action movies. He knows what he's doing. He's in a bunch of Street Fighter stuff as Ryu. He knows what he's doing. And in this episode, you get to see it, and it's cool. You get to see him actually fighting instead of the really annoying quick cuts like we see in parts of Karnak's fight scene.
Yeah, the fights were probably the best that I remember so far in the series, and that's absolutely right. You have a dichotomy between the fights, and it just depends on the actors and the situations involved. I would hesitate to say different fight choreographers, but that might be the case. I don't know. I just think
I feel like it's more, they don't have to rely on stunt people as much with what's the guy who plays Triton's name? He's only shown up like twice, so I'm trying to Mike Moe. So you don't have to do the quick cuts to intersperse the actor's face doing a thing to make it look like it was the actor the whole time.
Yeah, he did a great job. Took down 6 of Maximus's guards, 3 and then 3, and then took out Maximus, and then threw Maximus into this storage area shed. I think in the terms of Adelant, it would be like the storage shed out in the middle of nowhere, but it's probably underneath the city in some back cavern.
It's the royal bunker.
Remember, they're
Okay.
really short on space. It's the reason they put most of their population down in the mine. But they've got these huge hidden bunkers all over the place that people aren't allowed to use.
But it's the royal bunker, which I love. Medusa's reaction was like, wait a minute, there's a royal bunker. I'm a royal. I'm the queen. Why are you keeping all this stuff from me? And everything.
I really hope Maximus and Black Bolt kill each other and it's just Queen Medusa.
That would be
Because
great.
those guys are morons.
I would be in favor of
Exactly.
this because, like we've said over the course of talking about this show, I really like Medusa realizing, okay, people have been saying all this stuff to me, and I think they have a point. And I realize, like she says when she talks about the first time she went to that quiet room to gloat because Black Bolt had killed his parents. She's not had it easy. She found herself in this position of power. She found herself caught up in this power structure, and she became a part of it to a very large extent. We see her treating people like crap. But she's realizing now, finally, hey, we have a responsibility to be better.
Yeah, she has learned from her experiences. Black Bolt and Karnak seem to just want to get back and get things back to the way they were.
I feel like even Karnak has learned from his experiences somewhat. Black Bolt, I don't know.
Black Bolt really hasn't had a traumatic experience. He went to jail, but then he got this dude to break him out, and then
Sam. It's Sammy.
Sammy,
Sammy, and then he went to the lab, and then he escaped from that. It's been pretty easy for Black Bolt.
Yeah, the
compared
rest of
to
them.
everybody else.
Karnak's powers messed up on him, and he fell in love with, or he at least had a fling with a human woman. Medusa had her hair shaved and then kind of got to know a human and got really humbled by the whole experience. Gorgon had a changing experience, realizing that he can't just charge into things all the time, and got to hang out with humans and learn again, hey, these people aren't so bad. Even Crystal, who I really don't care for that much, got to hang out with humans and see, hey, these people aren't bad. Earth isn't so scary.
Dave is really cool.
We are told he is really cool. And then you have Black Bolt, who, went to jail, busted out with Sammy. And I don't know if it's because, I don't want to say it's because he hasn't had any speaking lines. I've seen actors do amazing things with absolutely no speaking lines. Watch the movie Valhalla Rising with Mads Mikkelsen. I've mentioned him before on the show as an actor who can do amazing things with just his face. And this movie is a perfect example of that. His character is mute. And his character also has one eye in that movie. So he's working with like half of what actors are usually given. Like he has no voice, he has one eye. And he's still amazing in it. And he still goes through this big emotional journey. And there's a lot of fighting and a lot of blood, and it's but anyway. And he spends a lot of the movie shirtless. But anyway. And Black Bolt just hasn't had that opportunity to grow. I feel like he's been carried along by all of the other characters. And again, feels like a first draft. We need character A to get from point X to point Y. How do we do that? Shrug.
Well, a couple of things with Black Bolt really quick. Black Bolt's brother did betray him, so that's a major thing that happens. They're all dealing with it, but it is Black Bolt's brother. The other thing that I believe at the start of last episode was the whole thing about Maximus really being the cause of Black Bolt killing his parents. So that's something that hasn't been dealt with yet, at least inside the episode. So maybe they just brought it up to go nowhere, or maybe we're going to get a conclusion on it next episode. I don't know. With this series, it's hard to tell.
Well, what gets me though, Medusa makes a point to where she's almost accusing Black Bolt of knowing that Maximus was going to do all of this. And because, in that bunker, they seem very prepared for war. So and she does say they bear some responsibility. I mean, they've been treating Maximus like crap, and just like they treat a lot of other Inhumans like crap. So did Black Bolt foresee his brother rising up, or the miners rising up?
Yeah, I would think this society has been prepared for some sort of rebellion for some time, just because of how they're treating so much of their population. You would have to be.
Yeah, he has to have. Okay, I have to believe that he has foreseen all this coming, because when else would he have talked to Triton? If he talked to Triton at the beginning of all of this, and Triton knew he was going down, that was the whole reason he went down to Earth. Well, first of all, that would explain why he went down to Earth in the first place. Like, we'd been wondering about that, or at least I've been wondering about that, since we're kind of given to assume that these Inhumans stay on the moon.
Well, in the first episode or the second one, he says that he's trying to find the Inhumans on Earth and maybe bring them to the moon. And Maximus is like, hey, we don't have enough food for ourselves. Maybe we shouldn't bring them here. Maybe we should go there.
Yeah, Maximus definitely has a point in that they really need to go down to Earth. Earth is at a pivotal moment right now where we're after the incident. We're after all the stuff that's happened in the MCU. So the alien-esque and the powers and the Civil War, too, has led to certain things in place down on Earth, which would be affable to the Inhumans actually coming down back to Earth, which I think is what we're going to at the end of the next episode from what the previews showed anyway. And you also have all these new Inhumans, which are having troubles, as we have seen over the past couple of years with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think the two coalescing into a more affable support organization for each other is great, but where to put them? You're going to put them in Hawaii? I mean, there's already people there.
I think it just depends on it seems as though Maximus might have a spot picked out because somehow he's getting money to Declan. So maybe he's been like buying up property in
Indiana.
Yeah, maybe here or some other sort of like place that's been deserted for whatever reason. And he's already got stuff being built. And he's like, oh, look, we're here in West Virginia or whatever. It's
surprise. It's like that into a nuclear waste dump.
No, it's that secret city in the Himalayas or something.
Oh, so it's like a suburb of Kunlun then?
I mean, there are fewer people there now.
Oh,
Oh, too soon. Too soon.
Wow. And so let's take a moment to talk about how they stocked out the bunker.
Sorry, wasn't Jiaying's city in the Himalayas too?
yeah, it was. I don't remember what it's called, right? Sanctuary?
It's very crowded
like
there.
And also you got Wakanda. Well, I know it's not in the Himalayas, but that's out there
No,
too.
that's in Africa.
I told
Yeah, and
you.
I don't think they're gonna let these like random people in.
Yeah, it's kind of Wakanda's thing. No new people.
Yeah.
No, but you could
Yeah.
become their new neighbors.
They don't really like neighbors.
No, they're. We'll find out more about that in Black Panther. So you'll see.
Oh, saw the trailer.
Oh, I know.
For Thor.
Oh.
For the record, we are recording this the weekend that Thor Ragnarok came out. 2 of us have seen it. 2 of us have not.
You guys, it's so good. It's so good.
So good.
I need to see it like 5 more times right now.
That's you know what? That's what I hear is everybody that has gone has said it is really good and then that you really need to see it multiple times. So maybe I need to get my butt there this week a couple of times.
Yeah, you do. It's so good. So fun.
And I
It's
would
like,
have
yes, bring the joy. Bring me the joy.
I would have gone to see it this weekend, but we have delayed talking about it on this podcast because Agent Haley will not be with us this next week, and we wanted to include her in the discussion that's pushing it into next week. So I decided, I'll just see it next weekend. I guess that was the wrong answer.
Sorry,
Go figure.
guys.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the bunker. And how was that filled out? You know, I've been noticing this more and more of stuff in Adelan that is obviously from Earth. So where are they getting this stuff? Is Lockjaw making nightly supply runs or something?
IKEA.
Do they deliver?
Now, Amazon has actually succeeded in their drone program, and they actually can send stuff to the moon. It's a very special version of Prime.
Yeah, Amazon teamed up with Stark Industries.
Did they get the same day delivery?
Oh man, that'd be great.
I could see that because Jeff Bezos, who's the owner and CEO of Amazon, also owns Blue Origin and is far behind where Elon Musk is over on SpaceX. So I could see this behind the scenes posturing going on between Blue Origin and Stark Tech. So yeah, this is a little Marvel universe coming in to help.
So we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but is it just me or does this set look like an old set from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D? Like when I was watching, my husband was sitting next to me. He doesn't watch the show usually. He hasn't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D in a couple of years. He looks up and he's like, I'm like, that looks like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D set. He looks up and he's like, yeah, it really, really does. I can't blame them for reusing sets because you've got to keep down the budget somehow. TV shows and even movies are famous for this, reusing sets, reusing costumes. There's one really famous scene in The King's Speech that uses a set from a porn movie. But it's just kind of amusing to me. It's like, I feel like I recognize this.
Though.
Yeah.
Or like that one house in Vancouver that you've seen in like the X-Files and Supernatural and The Flash.
The Coast Guard Academy.
That one forest in British Columbia that gets used for everything. That one castle in Canada that gets used that's like the Xavier Mansion, and it's also in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, that's their Coast Guard Academy.
It's the Queen Manor in...
it's the Queen Manor.
Which doesn't exist anymore. They took care of that between season 2 and season 3. It burned down to the ground.
That was some of the last episodes I saw.
Well, this was actually in the comics. They took care of it. The Queen Manor actually burning down.
So do you think those secret drones bring up wind machines to get wind on the moon?
We're like watching the scene going, those flags are really, I mean, we had this whole discussion about the flags needing the stiffeners and the starch and whatever, just to make sure it looks like they're flying. Now, granted, they're in a dome, but they're in a dome. There is
there's no wind in a dome.
Yeah, there's
no weather.
Okay. The wind works because the atmosphere moves around and makes changes, and the pressure is what causes it. Something like that. I was not a meteorology person, but I have, it's sort of
So if it was like one of those inflatable domes, like the Metrodome used to be up in the Twin Cities and the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, I believe. If it was like that, yes, that there's a lot of wind blowing just to keep it up. You're pushing in more air pressure to have a...
But this is like an invisible force dome.
Yeah, this is, well, I think it's actually a hard dome where they're...
But, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so there should be no way.
I guess it could be like an air conditioner.
It's because Maximus is such a blowhard.
They have that one Inhuman that his only job is to be the atmosphere guy.
Fans.
Yeah, it's like somebody is like, okay, I need a moment. Just come over here so that I can have the wind blow dramatically in my hair.
It's like Beyonce. It's the Beyonce effect.
Yes.
So they're having this big parlay scene. You know, the royal family facing off with Maximus. You know how this is going to go. It's not just going to end right here. You know something bad is going to happen. And it's such a pivotal moment. And all I can think about is, wow, there's a lot of wind there.
Also, Black Bolt giving up everything they have to Maximus and getting nothing in return to guarantee this trade.
What a strategic mastermind.
It's like Maximus is like, I agree. Oh, I got my friend back. Oh, take backsies.
And Black Bolt was like, you'll never get away with this. He just did.
He's like, think I did.
Next time I see you, I'm going to kill you. Thus giving Maximus heads up to booby trap the dome.
Also, wasn't the whole past couple of episodes, Medusa's been saying, you need to be better than this. You need to give him a trial. You need to not just kill him on sight and be your parents. And what does Black Bolt immediately do? Hey, bro, I'ma murder you.
Well, she did say later that, we gave Parlay a try.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like, why had they made no plans for, Maximus just being like, yeah, I'm just going to take this guy. What are you going to do about it? Like, how is that not foreseeable? Whatever.
Yeah, the guy has been proven over the past several days, if not weeks, months, years, to be a creeper, traitor, weirdo. Let's just assume he's going to take everything at face value. Yeah, sounds great.
A side note, by the way, I hear Parlay, and I know this goes beyond this reference, but I hear Parlay and my mind immediately goes to Jack Sparrow and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is, I guess, another Disney entity, so they can do whatever they want with that. All right, so we're not the only ones being delusioned with all this going on. I guess Oran, the captain of the Royal Guards, is Captain Chief, whatever, of the Royal Guards. She's also showing her disillusionment.
Yeah, Maximus is there monologuing throughout the whole episode, including to her about him going through Terrigenesis again. And she's like, oh, well, I followed you because, despite basically your disability, you could do anything.
He did so well for a human.
Yeah, which is how he saw it. So she's realizing, okay, this person isn't the person I thought he was. What am I doing following this person? So she's seriously questioning herself now that she knows what she knows about her powers degrading a little bit. Now that she knows that Maximus may not really be worthy of her loyalty. And of course, this is where Karnak finds her. Which, by the way, I loved that whole fight sequence where he comes in, runs through the sequence, gets shot. He's like, no, plans through it again, redoes it.
This is really important. I need to get this right. And based on his powers degrading, you don't know if this is actually going to go well for him or not. This could be his death. I mean, we've already seen Gorgon die, so why not Karnak too, right? So it is a little bit uncertain, whereas before it would have been a sure thing knowing his powers. Let's talk about the powers, though. Powers with Oran and Karnak have been degraded, and it's now noticed on the show. So might not just be those two, might be other people as well. What is going on with the Inhumans' powers?
Well, no, we know that Karnak's is because of the injury he sustained on Earth.
No, we don't. They're alluding that it might be something else.
Yeah, it's...
Remember, he was disoriented before his fall.
Does it have something to do with Earth? We don't know, because...
Gravity? The atmosphere?
Have they just been so long on the moon that they've acclimated to their... I don't know.
Like, did they all of a sudden get allergies and they don't have a Zyrtec?
That reminds me, I forgot to take my Claritin this morning.
Well, it looks like for Auron, though, she keeps dying, and eventually her body can't regenerate, and it's like Wolverine, like.
And see, that makes
Wolverine.
a certain amount of sense, because I am guessing that part of her whole thing with her powers, there's a thing in your DNA where eventually it stops repairing itself as well. And that's one of the things that causes aging. It's one of the things that can cause tumors. And I'm guessing part of her whole mutation is that her DNA, her cells, are capable of repairing themselves. So if her DNA and her cells and stuff eventually are no longer able to produce this, anti-telomerase stuff, or whatever they're going to make the rationale as, that would actually explain it. If she's using it up time after time after time after time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be that. It's completely plausible to me. Or if it's something that's fundamental with their genetics or the actual Terrigenesis, the crystals themselves. I don't know. I think we're going to find out a little bit.
Maybe it's the fact that there's such a small and non-viable population that we're finally to the generation where all of their, genetics have gone wonky, and they are now officially a dying population.
Oh,
I don't know.
You mean they all have the inhuman version of hemophilia?
Essentially, yeah. Or those so one of the fascinating things about the Amish population is because there's so much inbreeding, because it's a very small population. And this is also the case with the FLDS community. They get a lot of genetic disorders that you don't see in other populations. So there's a lot of enzyme disorders and stuff like that. It's really, really interesting, but it's horrible for the actual people who are suffering from it. It's just one of those fascinating and, again, horrible things about severely inbred communities.
I think the Amish can now use mobile phones, which is confusing a little bit. They have to use phones.
I think that's because of the inbreeding, though.
Well, I was going to get there.
Okay.
They can use the Amish version of Tinder now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't
wow.
that just the family tree?
So there's a really interesting Wikipedia article called Health Among the Amish. And it's mentions a bunch of the genetic disorders that are very prone, like Ellis-Van Creveld syndrome, which is a form of dwarfism, Angelman syndrome, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, macular degeneration. Thankfully, a lot of Amish communities are willing to participate in genetic studies. This is really prevalent in Lancaster County. Oh, this is fascinating.
So,
okay, I'll have to look at this after. I'll look at this after.
At Born to Eat Bacon has been live tweeting this podcast, which thank you very much at Born to Eat Bacon on Twitter. But he has responded to a lot of stuff throughout the podcast. I just have to say this. His response to what's going on with the Inhumans, midichlorians.
Ha!
Oh, God.
That's always the answer.
Try spinning. That's a good trick.
All right, talking about spinning, let's talk about Karnak and Gorgon and the fact that Karnak really wants his friend Gorgon back, and he is really into the second Terrigenesis right now, which does not have promising examples of in the past, and I think we see why at the end, but yeah, I can feel for him. Yeah, it's comics, anybody can come back, but might not be what you think.
One of the things I noticed about the series so far is that it seems as though the Adelans in charge and the humans in charge that first got there is like, okay, we need to tell the kids that Earth is awful, so they don't want to leave. And then maybe we should tell them that genetic splicing and going through teragenesis again is not a thing. So this way we can have our caste system and we don't have to worry about having everybody being equal. So we can have people who are willing to be servants. But because, everybody, they're like, oh, wow, we went to Earth and Earth is not bad. And we were told it was horrible. So maybe Karnak's got a point. Maybe those stories were fairy tales and it'll work.
I would think
Until we see Gorgon at the end.
Yeah. I would think before you embark on any of those journeys that you'd want to do a little bit of testing just to make sure before you did a full blown, this is what it's going to be.
That's typically what's supposed to happen.
Unless you're a mad scientist like a lab rat Lauren and decide to do something on yourself.
I plead the fifth.
All right, talking about mad scientists, let's talk about Maximus and Declan, because Declan obviously is trying to move forward, but he is trying to put on the safety brakes and say, whoa, maybe you don't want to do this. And Maximus like, well, we're going to do it anyway. Bring your case. Let's go.
I love how they just leave Declan in the room with the dead body.
Well, he's dead.
Like,
He's not going to do anything.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I like how he's like, oh, you mean I'm on the moon? Oh, fish guy, teleporting dog. Yeah, makes sense. Sure.
Gravity, like normal
Yeah.
gravity, not 1/6 Earth gravity. Yeah, and
Nope, got it.
so do you think this entire 8-episode series is really the origin story of the Gorgon that is known in the comics?
Don't think so.
I mean, he comes out mean and zombie-like, so yeah, he's going to be a little deranged.
He just comes out like, grr. I mean, you first off, your last memory is Earth and being, under debris, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're in a box. So I'm sure he's confused.
I guess you're right. There was the whole second Teragenesis story. Again, I'm not a big Inhumans fan, so I'm reading right now the Marvel Wikia page, and there was a second Teragenesis story where he did turn evil. Captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., he was forced to undergo secondary Teragenesis. An effort by S.H.I.E.L.D. to determine that the mist could be classified as a weapon of mass destruction went before the whole War of Kings event. But he's still primarily a good guy.
And of course, we don't have mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because of, contractual things. So you don't get that whole storyline of how Teragenesis is actually really bad for mutants and would kill them and definitely sterilize them. And it's the whole Mpox thing from the disease killing standpoint. And you just don't have that. So I'm trying to figure out how it could be classified as a weapon of mass destruction in this universe.
Because it kills non-Inhumans.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
S.H.I.E.L.D. established that. And we have to, I guess, assume that Inhumans are supposed to take place in the S.H.I.E.L.D. timeline or something.
That is definitely an assumption just based on the fact that they're both on the ABC network. Have we seen anything? We probably talked about it the first few episodes. Have we seen anything to link it back to the MCU or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, yeah, I mean, all the Inhumans talk, but we don't know exactly when it's taking place.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we've
they mentioned the water, and Sammy was like the big green guy or something like that, which just say the Hulk for crying out loud.
Yeah, you own the property. You can say the word Hulk.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Because it happened in Netflix too. The big green guy.
I think they're just trying to be cute about it.
I'm done
I
with
don't
being
know.
cute. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
All right. I think we've ended this penultimate episode discussion. Any last words, Miss Haley?
No. No.
Michelle?
I actually liked this. Okay, I actually liked the episode considering the other episodes. Like I was actually engaged, and I still feel for Maximus because I actually understand the point where he's coming from. That's a long personal thing. So I'm not like really rooting against Maximus. I'm not really rooting for Black Bolt. So it's really interesting how it's like, if Black Bolt loses, I'm be okay with it as long as, but I like Medusa now. So now I hope Medusa lives. But.
Okay. Lauren?
Yeah.
Last word.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Michelle. I would be perfectly okay if Black Bolt and Maximus killed each other and left Medusa in charge. And then they moved to Earth and, I don't know, set up a theme park. I'm not sure what they would do because they have no real life skills.
So you're saying the Inhumans are carnies?
Yeah, they could be carnies.
All right.
It would be, I've seen a lot of talk about what would happen if North Korea unified with South Korea. And it's a lot of people who, first of all, it would wreck the economy, which is a reason why I've heard that South Korea isn't like, they say, yeah, we're in favor of unification, but they aren't totally. And also there's a lot of people with no real modern day skills. Like there's some, like it's the elite that get, the engineering training and a lot of stuff, and the life skills are just very sheltered and behind in a lot of ways. And if you read a lot of accounts from North Korean escapees, they talk about that. And it's very hard in a lot of cases to integrate and everything like that. And I feel like that would be the case with a lot of both the Inhumans and just the non-Terrigenesis Inhuman people who worked in the mines. Like, what are they going to do? How are they going to integrate? Who's going to pay for it? Where are they going to go? While I think that would be fascinating to cover, that's not going to be something that people are going to want to cover in a TV series. But I would like to see something like that covered, maybe in a comic, in a book, and in fan fiction. I don't know. That's the kind of territory that fan fiction does really well, because it's fans who love covering this minutia of stuff who like writing it. So
I don't think the ratings are really going to justify any more television exposure, but it could be. And we'll see what happens from here. Just one episode left, and I was watching the episode this morning thinking I'm glad we only have this episode and then one more episode left, because I'm just about done with it right now. And okay, we'll see if anything comes out of it, and then we'll see if any crossovers come out of it. Like they pull the characters either into movies or the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV shows or any of the other TV shows that are out there now too. So I don't know. We'll see what we get. Right, so we've had a little change in schedule, by the way. We were going to cover Thor Ragnarok this next Thursday, but since Haley won't be with us, we've decided to push that off one more week. So this Thursday we'll be covering The Defenders, Season 1, Episode 6, Ashes, and then next week, next Sunday, we'll cover the Inhumans season finale without Haley. I think Haley's going to be fine with that, right, Haley?
I'll try to survive.
That's right. But if you like this sort of content and you really want to know about other things going on in the geeky world, there is a bunch of podcasts on the GonnaGeek.com network, which we are a part of. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of podcasts covering Thor Ragnarok, as we usually do, maybe Legends podcast. But outside of the movie or Marvel franchises, we've got just creative stuff, right, Lauren?
Yes, we do, including the Strange and Unusual podcast. That's STRANGE, the letter N, unusual.com. I'm sorry, I'm so used to recording that as a promo at the end of the show. It's Strange, the letter N, unusual podcast. This week on Friend of the Family, Season 3, Episode 7, Kindergaming, Tonight on Friend of the Family, Alice Belford teaches us a lesson in adult professional behavior. Asmodeus gets a new hobby, and Uncle Lawrence has to make a call.
And once again, you can find that at GonnaGeek.com. That is Friend of the Family, Season 3, Episode 7, found on the Strange and Unusual feed.
All right, as we mentioned before, it is Thor Ragnarok weekend, so we've got some Thor Ragnarok news, starting with the cast of Thor Ragnarok and James Corden giving a special performance.
So, have any of you guys seen this?
Oh my God. It is hilarious. Kate Blanchett.
It's about 8.5, 9 minutes long. They crashed a showing of Thor Ragnarok on its premiere. And James Corden had the cast act out the movie, essentially. But it's like high school theater quality, like maybe a step below that. So everyone's wearing bad wigs. Kate Blanchett's Hela outfit is basically pipe cleaners. The crushing of Mjolnir scene is great because it's Kate Blanchett. She grabs it and she smashes it on her hip and then holds it back out again. There's very minor spoilers for stuff that we all figured was going to happen. And it's beautiful. At one point, Tom Hiddleston tries to do a hair flip and his wig just flies straight off. And of course, there's the Thor Hulk fight has them fighting through the audience and giving people hugs and kisses as they fight through and invade their seats. It's great. It's great.
Oh, and then there's little cut in little snippets, and Tom Hiddleston was like, "This is it." He says something like, "This is interesting. Maybe someone could record it and stream it." And oh wait, isn't that a movie?
And Kate Blanchett's on her phone with her agent. Get me out of here. Oh, and then Jeff Goldblum showing up on a Razor scooter was fantastic. Jeff Goldblum just continues to be amazing. He's great in the movie. He's great in all the press tour stuff. You guys, please see the movie. It's so good. It's so good.
So, some more Thor Ragnarok news. Originally, apparently they were planning to do a John Hughes style flashback.
Yeah, on the Happy, Sad, Confusing podcast, Taika Waititi mentioned that he had a great flashback scene planned that didn't make the cut. Well, I wanted to do this little thing, and maybe if we ever do a Thor 4, we can have it. But I wanted to do some flashbacks where Thor is a kid, a little fat kid. There was an 80s version of Asgard where everyone had massive shoulder pads and everyone had mullets. Our idea was Thor and Valkyrie meet, and he's like, "Hey, I know you." And she's like, "Ha, I remember you." And then it cuts back to this thing, and he's just this pudgy little kid walking around with a mullet and being picked on by other kids. And Loki's like this little emo goth hanging out by himself. He was like the kid in Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy. So
I will watch a whole movie of that.
I know. I don't care if it's canon or not. I will watch that. It's like 80s fun time adventures in Asgard.
All right. So
okay, Taika Waititi needs to make more Marvel movies. You guys,
we talked about it. He wants to do a Black Widow movie.
Yeah, just let him make anything he wants. At this point. Just let him do it.
Give him a pile of money and some actors. It'll be fine.
Yes.
So the next bit of news is venturing a little bit away from Thor Ragnarok. A fan has made a trailer for a Wolverine versus Black Panther.
Okay, I watched this right before we started recording, and it's really good. It's about 4.5 minutes long. It was created by Stryker HD, and it's this whole Wolverine and Black Panther, because, the adamantium, and the vibranium and all that, they meet up, and there's just a lot of good clips, and there's good music in the trailer too. I really wanted to make mention of the music, which is one of my favorite tracks ever, Sunshine, Adagio in D from the movie Sunshine. One of the main themes from 300, and then the music from the Black Panther trailer, which is a mashup of The Revolution Will Not Be Televised and Bag Back by Vince Staples. So it's really cool. It's worth a look. IO9 has it. We're going to link it in the show notes. Seriously, guys, check it out. It's fun.
All right. And that is the news for the day. We're going to move on to some feedback.
All right. We've got some great news and responses and stuff from Twitter this week. I am ashamed to mention that I did not live tweet this Friday because I thought it was a Saturday all day. Because my husband was home and we went to the movies and my mind just said Saturday. So I was playing Overwatch all evening and then looked at my phone after I had finished charging it and saw all the messages from everyone. So sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I will be live tweeting again on Friday for the finale. But at Adana Girl said, I assume this means Meredith Salinger has reached lanyard status. So yesterday, November 4th, our very own Agent Koenig and his fiancée, Meredith Salinger, who people might know as the voice of Barriss Offee from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, among many other things, got married at a ceremony at Jim Henson Studios. He lost his wife last year. He has a new comedy special on Netflix called Annihilation where he mentions that among other things, and it's really good. So check it out.
I have heard that.
And yeah, just very happy for them both. His daughter Alice was there as the flower girl ring bearer, and just the whole thing's very cute, very happy for them, very happy when people are happy.
Congratulations, Patton and Meredith. Life is too short. I am glad that you are moving forward with your relationship. Yay.
And yes, I think that does move her up to lanyard status. At Badger Spoon sent us an article that from BuzzFeed that says 15 reasons Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. deserves your time. And it's a BuzzFeed article, which means it's filled with gifs and fun stuff. And it's nice to see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. getting a lot of attention, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I love this show. So the reasons, first and foremost, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the best show on network television. It's guaranteed to make you feel all the feels there's a picture of our very own science babies hugging. Every year, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is threatened by cancellation, but by some miracle, it always pulls through. For those new to Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a bureau dedicated to keeping the world safe from superhuman threats, centers out to Agent Coulson. Oh my God, those weren't even all the reasons. Yeah. There's 15 reasons there. And we all know that it's awesome. If you're listening to this show, chances are you watch it. So it's great. Go look at the gifts. Go look at the pictures. Lots of pretty people doing stuff that we remember from the show. And reminding you that the new season premieres on Friday, December 1st, which is less than a month away, you guys. So close. So close.
Really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I think Haley and I are of the same mindset that this will be the 6th and final season of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Final season, even.
Excuse me, I was thinking of Arrow. It's the 5th and final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hopefully not, but probably headed for that. So enjoy it while you have it. It is going to be fun. They're going to be in space.
Yes, watch it. Tell your friends. Get them caught up. Have them listen to us talking about it. Who knows? And finally, from at Mr. Paracletes, may need to redo the podcast intro again, LOL. And what he's referring to is an article from moviepilot.com. Do the latest Avengers 4 set photos tease Tony Stark, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And, well, he does appear to be wearing an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. jumpsuit in this picture. Yeah, it is an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. jumpsuit. It has a little patch on it and everything.
Yep.
But I don't think that means he's the director.
No, but with every year, there's been some change. So I have forewarned our voiceover artist that does the intro and outro and prepared the space for getting a new intro done. I don't know if it'll get done like right away, but sometime before the holiday break, we will probably have a different intro. And I don't know if that's going to be the same one that we carry into 2018 or not. That'll depend on the evolution of the show itself, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If ABC would like to give me a heads up on what they have planned, they're more than welcome to catch me on Twitter at Stargate Pioneer or email me, stargatepioneer@guineageek.com. Let me know so I can prepare the podcast intro and outro. But yeah, that's up to them.
The article also has another picture of set stuff. There's a bunch of boxes. One seems to be labeled chair pouch. I can't read that. Baggets, hot tea gear, and binary augmented retro framing, which you may remember from Civil War, BARF, the virtual reality technology that let him go back and see his parents at the beginning. And as the article postulates, fans have noted that Zoe Saldana and Karen Gillan have been seen wearing their costumes from the first Guardians of the Galaxy film, and the time and reality stones are also in play. So who knows? We could be seeing, there's also supposed to be a flashback to the 60s. Shrug. So who knows what we're going to be seeing, when we're going to be seeing. I don't know.
60s? That would be Haley Atwell.
Yes.
Oh, please.
Looking forward to that in the future. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for getting a hold of us on our Twitter account at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. We also have, of course, the YouTube channel, the Facebook account that the ladies control. All three ladies, actually, I think, have access to that on this podcast. And you can email me, stargatepioneer@guineageek.com, like I said before. Looking forward to what you have to say about the season finale of The Inhumans. With that, we're going to moonquake this one out. Woohoo! We're at the end of The Inhumans. One more episode to go. Can't wait. Thank you very much for listening or downloading to the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you to everybody who gets a hold of us, even for the live tweets that I missed. Sorry about that. We love hearing from you. We love knowing that you're thinking of us, whether you're sending us news stories or just sending us fun pictures, which there were some. Seriously, you guys check out our Twitter replies and stuff on the app. There's some really, really good stuff in there. Thank you guys so very much. We love you all.
Yeah, thank you everyone who sends us feedback. Thank you everyone that sends us news. It makes it easier when we're putting the show together. We really appreciate all that, and we appreciate everyone who is listening.
And thank you, Michelle, for joining us for The Inhumans. We'll have to discuss what your plans are after this, but it's been really fun having you here for our therapy sessions.
I've enjoyed it. Next week is it. We are getting through this together.
Indeed we are. Until next time, I'm Director SP.
I'm Agent Haley.
I'm Agent Lauren.
And I'm Consultant Michelle.
Bye! See you guys next time. Go see Thor Ragnarok.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to guineageek.com and you will find all our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod, found at incompetech.com, and also artists on pond5.com and audiojungle.net. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and do not represent Stargate Pioneer Productions, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation, Marvel Studios, and ABC. No infringement is intended. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is copyright 2017.